Sniper's already here. Do you want to go ahead and bring him in?
Bring him on in here. Come on in, Sniper, man. Come on in.
Sniper, you there?
Yeah, I'm here, man. What's up?
Not too
What's
much.
going on, buddy, man? How you been?
Just, listening to the show, waiting to come on and talk to Spade and you guys about what's going on. Listening to a little politics there and a little something about
This, that, and the other thing.
I couldn't catch all that with the yellow car. I didn't catch some of that. I was actually taking a whiz when you did that, so I couldn't hear all of it.
I'll sleep better tonight knowing that.
As Will's trying to say, he's relieved to know that you are now relieved.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Sometimes it's better than anything else. Yeah, you gotta go.
Mm-hmm. The worst is when you get the chill halfway through it.
Yeah, the piss chill. Yeah, that's you know. You know what?
Anyway,
I used to jump when I was in the 82nd. I used to jump, and you'd have to hold your pee for like 6 or 7 hours while you're rigged up in your parachute. And they'd say, okay, when you hit the ground, get your weapon to the ready and do all this stuff. And the first thing I always did was I'd stand on one knee and whiz just for 5 minutes, just and I'd get the pistol under the shake and be like, oh, let's do this shit, So then I get ready.
That's right. Once again, we'll all sleep better tonight knowing this.
Show. Welcome to the Will and Thunder Show. Pissing on tonight's Will and Thunder Show. Woohoo!
If you've ever watched Liar Liar, you got to do what you got to do, because otherwise, you can be impotent. So they said, So take care of business, so you can take care of business.
That's exactly it.
Well, I'm married, so I don't have to worry about being impotent anymore.
Still, as long as there's Viagra and penthouse, I have a reason to live. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really too worried about it. So
that's right. It's like the one comedian said, if smokers can sue Philip Morris for lung cancer, then I should be able to sue Playboy for carpal tunnel.
That's it. There's you have a huge right hand. You're like, yeah, I know, I've been working out,
I had a good friend of mine. He was out drinking one night, having a crazy night, and actually fell down and sprained his wrist. He come back to work the next day, and he's trying to work, and he got one of them solid wrist braces on, couldn't do hardly shit. I'm like, listen, man, quit being so hard on yourself.
It's got the double meaning there. I get it. Oh, that's awesome.
Not just good, but good for you.
Yeah, well, I talked to Spade this morning a little bit. By this morning, I mean 3 o'clock in the afternoon. He gets up at 1:30 or so. And we were talking about, I don't know, we're doing we donated, me and Spade, the band actually, we donated a guitar. We're doing a Make-A-Wish function on Saturday where I'm doing the Star Spangled Banner. And then it's like a football thing. I'm doing the Star Spangled Banner, and then they're going to auction off this guitar, and I'm giving 12 free lessons, one lesson a month, one half-hour lesson a month to whoever gets a high bidder for the Make-A-Wish for these little kids with, terminal disease.
Cancer, yes, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, well,
that's cool.
I've never
done anything with the Make-A-Wish Foundation, but I want to work with them at some point in the future.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
I was going to say, this is me and Spade's third year doing it, and what we've been doing is we've been donating the guitar, and Spade will do some kind of crazy artwork on it, and we'll try to, get the votes up or the money up. And last year, our super fan voted on it and won it, and it's at his house, and he sent us pictures. And the year before that, I think, it's gone up in value every time. So this year I told him, I said, tell you what, tell him I'll give him some guitar lessons. It's going to get the price to go up so we can get, kids more money. And once you do it once, you feel, after seeing me and Spade actually sat at a table, 2 of the girls that were Make-A-Wish girls that were survivors who were actually in the event that we were raising money for. So you're just like, so humbling. You're just like, oh my gosh, this little 8-year-old girl has more courage than anybody I've ever met in my life, you know, and so
Right.
I feel totally obligated to do everything I can to help, especially I know Spade does too. I wonder why he's not on the line. I was hoping he'd call in by now, but
I told him
Dan,
I told him 9:15, but you were already there. We were going to do the majority of the show with you guys on tonight anyway, so I figured you were there. Why the hell not?
Oh, right on. But what was weird is last night, Friday, we were playing a show, and the Make-A-Wish guy comes in and says, "So, you all ready?" I'm like, yeah. About Saturday? And so he's like, what's Saturday? I'm like, Make-A-Wish, man. And he's like, no, it's not. I'm like, yeah, it is. He's like, no, it's not. We have a gig. I'm like, no, we don't. It's Make-A-Wish. We got, so we found out that we actually have to do a show Friday, then Saturday go to the Make-A-Wish, do the Start Feeling Better, making our presentation, Cuddling Dark, then run to a gig that's like an hour away and play that night too. And so we're doing like triple duty that day. It's going to be a long night for us. So hopefully, I'm hoping the guitar gets about $1,000 or something, so we didn't really have
Absolutely.
kids.
Is there any, do you guys have a website that if we have any listeners that just want to donate some money to the cause that you guys are doing that they can maybe call on, or is it is there a silent auction? Or?
Yeah, there is a silent auction on the Iowa Make-A-Wish Foundation. If they just go to the Iowa Make-A-Wish Foundation, it's out of Council Bluffs. They can go there, and there is, I believe it's on the website there, and they can put in bids through the Internet.
Excellent. And you know what, guys? Listen, I mean, this is a big cause right here. And anybody who has kids, I've got 6 kids, and I mean, it's just humbling when we've got a big children's hospital around here. We've got 2 of them actually. St. Jude's is one of them, and they do a big telethon every year. And to hear some of these stories and what the parents go through with these kids and the strength of these kids that go through. I mean, you've got 6, 7-year-old kids who come on the radio and talk about the experience they've had going through this. It's very humbling to see, the strength and the courage that these children have. You know what? Yeah, I mean, the guitar lessons, that's cool, man. But if you're not in Iowa and you still want to give money, you want that guitar, get on there. I mean, the guitar lessons are the big deal right there. It's taking care of these children, giving them a minute to feel super special in their worst times right there.
Oh, it's me and Spade were sitting at the table last year just on the verge of tears at how brave this little girl was. You're just like, oh my, I'm not going to say her name because I don't want to get her in trouble, but she was like 8 years old, and she looked like she was about 5 because how small she was, and from what's going on with her, and I was literally sitting next to her. It was me, my fiance, and Spade were there, and I was just like, oh my gosh, and I really had no intention of doing too much more than. So then I'm like, I went to the ATM. I'm like, I get some more money out here. I've got to do something here, and the guitar went for like $400 or $500, and I was like, yes, and me and Spade and my fiance were just like, wow, just overwhelmed would be the word I was looking for, just overwhelmed on how the spirit of goodness in that room that night, just everybody giving, it was really overwhelming for me.
Yeah. We actually, years ago.
The Iowa Make-A-Wish Foundation?
Yeah, it's like
yes, sir.
It's the Council Bluffs one. It's Council Bluffs, Iowa Make-A-Wish. Yeah.
Hold on. I'm trying to find it so I can post it on the show page.
Actually, years and years ago, a band Will and I were in knew a couple that had a very, very sick child, and this little one loved rock and roll music, so we actually did a benefit. And I had an old bass guitar and I played it that night on stage, and at the end of the show, we ended up giving the guitar. We didn't auction off, we just gave it to the little kids, so he'd go on and, play on it and beat on it and have fun with it and, be a part of the music kind of thing he loves. And, that's minimal compared to what you guys are doing. But, it's things like this and Locks of Love and stuff like that that are so important to, keep these kids on track. And, I think they really keep us on track more than we do them. We can stand behind them and pat them on the back and, here's a little money for you. But they're the ones that fight through it, and they're so tough. And they make us sit back and go, wow, Yeah. Look, I'm complaining that I have an hour drive to work every day, and look what you're going through. I guess I need to just shut up and deal with it.
Yeah, it makes you realize how you made it to 35, 40 years old without hardly any scraps, and you're like, you see this 8-year-old kid fighting for a life, and you're just like, wow. And Sam Spade's really big about. We do a lot of when we have this residency that we play at this bar in Omaha, where we donate a lot of we get sponsors to come in, and we do we've done open door mission and France Jams where people bring money and food and coats and stuff on when it's really cold here, and UNICEF and the blood drive. We do quite a few here, and that's on our website usually, and we try to always do something besides just, rake and dough. I mean, it's not like I'm getting rich doing this, but
the point of the matter is, it's not a matter. You're helping out. I mean, you see some issues out there that really touch home to you, and instead of just going out there and trying to be not so quote just famous, or be out there with the crowds and the people screaming, "Oh, look at the band play!" You guys like, "Oh, look, man, you guys want to come see us? You look for music. That's great. Do me a favor. You got an old coat, bring it to me, because we need to give it to some people who don't have a coat, who don't have a blanket."
Right. Yeah. And I don't know what the weather's like where you're at, but it gets damn cold here, in the winter. And
oh yeah, I mean, I'm in Tennessee here. I'm up, West Tennessee, around Arkansas, Missouri area. So I mean, we have our moments where it's we'll get down to -10 with the wind chill.
Yeah.
And the next day it'll be 60, 70 degrees. It's the craziest weather I've ever seen. You have a tornado one day and then snow the next. But it gets cold here, and especially me. I'm a Florida boy, so you get down to 15 degrees. Look, that's ridiculous to me.
We have Spade.
Hey. Hello.
Hey. What's going on, man?
What's going on?
Hey, Spade. I'm
killing it in there.
The show, and they said, "Come in." And I'm like, "Oh, Spade's not here."
I'm in call 915.
Yes.
I was listening to the show on my phone because I don't get good internet connection here, bro.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to upstage you there, Bob.
No, you did, man. Oh, you were doing great, man. I was enjoying the show. I was laughing out loud.
I could not find that event on that website. I mean, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go on the Iowa page, the Iowa Make-A-Wish page, and just post that on the show page.
Yeah, I don't know. I should actually. You know what? Let me see that card. I got an invitation from them laying around here. See if the thing is
fellas,
on.
I don't mean to change the subject here. I just want to bring up a very important thing. Thank you for having us here. This week we're actually celebrating Sniper's birthday. So this is his big birthday interview.
Oh, well, happy birthday.
Spill the beans.
Thank you. I'll spill the beans.
I was not going to say anything about that, and you got me, man.
All right,
so it's a big birthday show.
Thunder, Spade. Let's the three of us sing him happy birthday. You ready?
Oh.
On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Screw you. Happy birthday,
Sniper. Dear Sniper.
Happy
birthday to you.
That was great. That was kind of like, I think Maryland did a little bit better than we did.
A little bit.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I was thinking about her in my head when you guys were doing that, if that makes you feel any better.
Okay, what's your favorite call good radio? Keep that to yourself.
Yeah, watch the carpal tunnel, all right?
Yeah. So,
I'm here all week.
Cat's out of the bag on that. I'm looking on. I'm sorry. Go ahead, sir. It just says I will make a wish. I can't say anything on here. I'm sorry. I'm stupid. And
don't worry about it. I mean, we tried to get it out there. But you're going to have a chance to get me back. You know why? because September 6th, which is when you guys are coming to Fayetteville, my birthday is September 7th.
Oh, man, we're going to have a big blowout.
Yeah, we'll do what we can to embarrass him. I'm going to do my best, which I know I'll have to be down there for this whole shindig we got going on. But, yeah, I'll probably end up picking you guys up from the airport over there. I'm going to drive down, probably leaving the 5th, and come get you guys the 6th, and we'll get you guys all lined up, maybe have a big barbecue and all that, and then Saturday have a hell of a time.
Nice. That sounds great. Yeah.
Bill and I will have to
on stage and we'll sing badly for you. That'll be great.
Fantastic.
Or actually, we could just guys should just play a little bit of back of what we just sang for you. I mean, that was pretty awesome.
It was definitely one of a kind. I'll give you. It was stellar. I don't know what to say. Adjectives are escaping me right now. I don't really know.
Oh, mercy.
That's good radio.
It was awesome.
Good radio.
You know, I don't know. I mean, at first it sounded like we were trying to do one of those kind of runs, like, you know, row your boat, because nobody was on key or, you know, on the same time right there. It was awesome.
Yeah.
I was trying to get back up.
You know, A for effort at the minimum. There you go. That's all you needed.
Well, happy birthday, young man. How old are you this year anyway?
29.
26.
Nice. I've been 29 for way too many years.
Me too.
29, I haven't came in a girl since 89.
Yeah, that's right. My profile. That's a true statement, sir. My profile on Facebook says 1900, so I guess I'm 114 this year. So
you don't sparkle, do you?
Well, from the pictures I've seen, you look great for your age.
That's the secret. You tell people older than you are. That way they go, wow, you look great for 114. You're like, thank you.
That's right. You know?
You don't sparkle, do you?
No, shut up. That was horrible. And how are you going to do that? How are you going to take an old age menace like Dracula, and be like, oh, no, we're going to give him sparkles? I'm like, are you kidding me? That's like Frankenstein sleeping with a teddy bear. You get out of here. It makes me so mad.
Well, I believe vampires shouldn't wear lip gloss. That's just a little thing.
No, I agree. Or highlighter, you know?
Well, yeah.
Well, there should have been some established rules for vampire movies and stuff years ago. For one, they were
until that lady wrote those stupid books.
They can't go outside during the daytime. They do not sparkle. They're not cute and cuddly. And the main rule that trumps them all, they want to kill you.
They don't eat Bambi. They don't.
Right.
They don't eat Bambi's blood.
Unless we're talking about a ditzy blonde.
Well, there are some porns that have Bambis in them. I know that I've seen them, the internet. I just don't,
That's a different Bambi. Look, I wouldn't mind eating her either, but that's a different situation.
Only legal in Europe.
Wow, them Hungarian porns they were talking about right there. Wow. Yeah, them
or what? Or Mexico. Want to see the donkey show?
Yeah. That's not good.
Hey, senor, you want to see the donkey show? Not really, thanks anyway.
Yeah.
No más cerveza. Anyway. Wow, where this show goes amazes me sometimes. We were just on Make-A-Wish Foundation and went to donkey shows in like 10 minutes. I mean, really? Now that's entertainment. Wow.
Yeah, that there's awesome. That's some high quality.
You know, Bill. Exactly, Bill. That's the best time you've ever played that soundbite right there. The best ever. Oh, mercy. Wow.
You guys want to?
Well, for any of our first-time listeners, welcome on in. Hope you're enjoying things. Yes.
Let's go ahead and play the first song.
Yeah, let's take a break on that note, and we're going to play a song here from 3D In Your Face. In Your Face has no meaning like what we were just talking about. But anyway.
As far as you know.
Maybe.
Okay. This first song.
I haven't had this much fun since my bar mitzvah.
And you're not even
Go ahead, Bill.
Okay, tell us about this, a little bit about this song. It's Forbidden City.
This song we kind of wrote, it was one of the earlier on ones that Sniper, he brought in the riff. And he brought the riff to me, and I go, I got that. I know what I want to write, and I wanted to write something that didn't really rhyme, and it was kind of outside of our box, like a heavier song, I guess you would say, for the record. So we kind of just, it fell into place. It came from this movie with Jackie Chan, and I think that in the movie he goes to the Forbidden City, and I think I ripped off the title from it and wrote the song about kind of a necropolis, or the city of the dead, and we are the gatekeepers of the rock and roll city of the dead.
Oh, awesome! I'd like to see you guys make a concept video off of that one.
Yeah, very cool. So I tried not to rhyme a lot of the words. Was my goal in this one.
All right, well, let's go ahead and let's give a listen to this song here.
Yeah, Forbidden City by 3D In Your Face, and we'll be right back on the Will and Thunder Show.
We
welcome back to the Will and Thunder show. That's a badass song. You know what? The people are saying on the Facebook page is that our intro kept repeating itself over and over until like 10 after.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, I mean, there's an easy way to do that. I'll just do the intro manually from now on. But I mean, that's 2 weeks in a row now that we've had like a serious problem with this blog talk system. So.
Wow. Well, it's funny that we're not hearing that. I mean, because with us being there, even though we're on the air and everything, so off the cue, it's playing again and again.
Well, no, they said it stopped, but it just basically Mobius says, "What's up, Thunder?" But he's saying that it took about 2 or 3 minutes for the window to change. Then an arrow came up to the screen, and then Rick says that the intro kept repeating itself until around 10 after.
Oh, wow. Well, are you guys out there that are listening, that are sitting in the queue or listening online, we apologize for that. We're going to have to get with the people here on Blog Talk Radio and get some of these kinks figured out, because it's been 3-4 weeks now that we've had some issues in the intro to the show right here. So
yeah.
Hopefully we can get these figured out. And Mobius, thanks for saying hi, man. I'll give you a call either tonight or tomorrow, man. It's been a minute since I've talked to you. But anyway, yeah, absolutely. We'll look into this and try and get this figured out, because we've only got 2 hours, man. I mean, not like you really missed anything, but I'm just kidding.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, there's
we were talking about urine for the first 10 minutes, but anyway.
There's things that we can do, and I need.
We'll get it figured out for you guys.
Yeah, don't need to hear any behind the scenes drama with the show.
Exactly.
That just pissed me off, because 2 weeks in a row something serious had happened, but oh well.
Well, on a different note, guys, great song, man. I mean, I love your guys' style, man, and the guitar playing. It's just screaming, man. It's ridiculous how good you guys really are, man. I love it, man. Love it.
Careful, my head's going to get too big to fit in this room. I'm already egotistically going to make it worse, buddy. Be careful.
Look, man, it's a guitar player thing. I'm used to it, man. And I'm short, so, I can just duck up underneath it,
That'll work.
But yeah, no, you guys are really good, man. I can't wait for you guys to come down to Fayetteville and be in the crowd right there, or side stage, and listen to you guys just knock it out of the park, man. You guys are phenomenal. And I love, as I said last time, how you guys stay tried and true to this whole thing and live the life, and man, just love that style of music. I mean, as I said back then, man, my first CD, not CD actually, it was one of the first cassettes I ever owned was Poison, man. Loved them. That and Cinderella, and you guys are right on track with all that. Love it, man.
Thanks, man. Well, so, want to do a little shenanigans?
We can do some shenanigans.
As if that first bit wasn't shenanigans.
No, that was pre-shenanigans. This is going to be the real shenanigans. So, anyway.
Our shenanigans are cheeky and fun.
Yeah, I mean, his shenanigans are cruel and tragic, which makes them not shenanigans at all, really.
I swear to God, I'll pistol whip the next guy that says shenanigans.
Shenanigans! Shenanigans!
Are you little?
And one thing that we need to add to that shenanigans little bit right there. Okay, Sniper and Spade, have you guys ever seen the movie Waiting?
Yes.
Ryan Reynolds.
Yes.
The very end of the movie. Well, they worked in a restaurant called Shenanigans. Best line in the entire movie is when the new guy is just busting everybody out at the end of the movie, and he looks at Ryan Reynolds and he's like, "Yes, yeah, you're cool with your quick whips and all your little." You're the coolest guy at Shenanigans. That's like being the smartest guy with Down syndrome. Greatest line ever.
Yeah.
If you want to stop somebody in their tracks, just call them the smartest guy with Down syndrome. That's beautiful.
You know, from
You're
experience.
like, listen, shut up, Corky.
Oh.
Yeah, come back from that one there, Cupcake. All right, you got one now? Anyway. Okay, well, the whole idea of the shenanigans section, and actually we're going to do kind of like a shenanigans show where we're going to talk about 3D in your face, and we're going to talk about them coming down to Fayetteville. We're going to play some of their music, but we're just going to talk about anything and everything tonight. You know, a little bit maybe about this relation.
If you want to call
That's
in,
it.
Call in 646-716-6135.
And if you're in the chat room, call us too. I mean,
well, nobody's really talking in the chat room, but who cares? Yeah, call in, type something into the chat room, do something. Because you never know when you're going to be in a McDonald's and a topless hooker comes running in and starts stealing ice cream.
Exactly.
I saw that. What city was that in?
That was in Florida.
Oh,
it was in St. Petersburg, Florida.
Proud.
Have you ever noticed that whenever there's a story like that where the police and McDonald's and McNuggets are involved, it's usually from Florida.
Yeah, or a crazy guy on bath salts eats somebody's face. It's Florida.
Yeah, it's Florida. That's our home.
Must be the water. I don't know.
It's so sad because that's where we hail from. We love Florida so much. And we understand there are towns like that close to ours that, I mean, you wouldn't be surprised if you heard a story like this. But, I mean, yeah, every time there's something wacky in the news. Like, yeah, in Winter Haven, Florida. And exactly.
St. Petersburg is Tampa. It's like right across the bay from Tampa. So, I mean,
well,
it's not
let's
exactly
elaborate on this story just a little bit.
Yeah. Basically, there's video going around. I'm going to post it here in just a few minutes. I'll have it up on the show page here at some point. But basically, it's camera footage from inside the store where this woman wearing nothing but a G-string, literally nothing but a G-string, comes running in and starts screaming, starts like knocking the cash register over. She comes behind the counter, starts throwing things all over the place, gets into this the cooler and starts pulling stuff out and throwing it on the floor, and nobody wants to come up to her. I don't think I would either. I might catch something, but she, and then she like actually runs out of the view of the camera and into the kitchen, and that's like the last, that's it.
Well, I read the story too, and she ends up, the way she ends the situation now, they don't say if she was arrested or if they ever found her or what. She ends the whole situation by sticking her head under the soft serve ice cream dispenser and pulling it open and filling her face with ice cream.
Like
I think we've all been there. We've all been there.
Yes, usually when I do that, it's at a buffet when you can get to the ice cream dispenser without going behind the counter, And I don't wear G-strings, I wear more the bikini kind, but
they stopped selling ice cream after midnight. I don't understand why, but that's when the strippers get off work. They want the ice cream, they stop selling it.
At least now McDonald's has the integrated menu where you can get breakfast, dinner, and dessert after midnight, so they might not have this problem anymore.
Don't tell me they ever had to call the police because of you there, Thunder. Because I know how it goes.
No, not at McDonald's. Not at McDonald's. What?
I said I know how you are about your nugget.
Yeah, I got your chicken McNugget right here, all right? You want some special sauce with that, Cupcake? Look, well, why are you jumping on me right there? Slow down, Turbo. All right. Well, what else you got to talk about? What other stories have you noticed in the news today?
Well, I just threw one out.
Keep me out of this one too.
What about Spade or Sniper? You guys got anything?
Well, we played a pretty killer party. We played a killer gig last Saturday. Pretty cool. We're in, what's the name of that place, Spade? I can't remember now.
Wayne, USA, Wayne, Nebraska.
Wayne, Nebraska.
You played in Alaska last week. Did I hear that correctly?
No. Wayne, Nebraska is about.
Oh, I thought you said Alaska. I'm like, well, wait a minute. That's a ways away. That's a hell of a travel right there.
Yeah, we'll play anywhere. Our bags are always packed, but it was like 1,500 students in togas.
Nice.
Drunk fest at this place, and it's a weird story, but it was pretty cool. I mean, it was really hot in there because everybody's drunk as all get out. We played loud, and it was a good night. There's some video. I think one of our guys posted videos from the guitar where we keep our guitars in our like we call it shred quarters, where we keep our guitars though we're not playing when we switch out on stage. So he did a handheld camera from Wayne, and it's just, I mean, it's literally just people as far back as you can see, and them throwing drinks and just everything possible, just wearing togas and getting like stupid crazy.
Straight up rock and roll college party.
Yeah, it was like from Animal House, man. It was insane.
Yeah, you remind you of Animal House or Spring Break 1980?
Yeah, that's what it was like.
Let me kind of break it down here. It was like,
go ahead.
Yeah, all right. Well, this place, they didn't hire enough security. First and foremost, I was thinking we were getting into like an Altamont situation here. There was like 3 security guards for every 100 people. And there was one security guard at the front edge of the stage. Well, as we jump off the stage and we go out and we start doing our thing, and I'm looking at my side of the stage, and there's 20 guys that are just hammered. Togas are already off. It's just underwear on. It's like the Hanes boxer briefs. They're angry.
You're forgetting one detail. The majority of them are rugby players, right? Yeah.
Majority are what?
They're rugby players.
Oh, nice.
Just ready to fight me. I run over to Sniper side of the stage. There's 20 girls over there. I'm just like, what is going on over here? He's just got all these beautiful women on his side of the stage. I look at my side of the stage, and our security guard has to just keep pushing these guys off of my side, and they just keep coming back up. And I couldn't stop it. Like, they just wanted to kill me. I felt the animosity there. And next thing I know, I look over, and Sniper's flipping this guy off, telling him to come up on stage. He's going to kick his ass. And I'm like, holy shit. Here we go. Like, I thought it was on. Like, this was going to be a Royal Rumble. This rock and roll concert is going to turn into a Royal Rumble now. And it turns out this guy, he got escorted out, and he punched Sniper in the testicles and chipped a tooth.
That's horrible.
It was good. It was a good rock and roll show. It was a crazy thing I've ever
like, look. Leif Garrett's going to be talking about this on 20th Most Dumbest Rock and Roll shows right here. You just wait to see it. That's awesome, man.
It was really cool. It was. I've been to a lot of punk rock shows, and those are always the craziest ones that you can ever go to. And this trumps any punk show that I've been to or played at. By a long shot.
So at one point it was exhilarating. The other side, you're like, oh, we might die tonight.
Yep, exactly.
Which makes for fulfilled evening right there.
Yeah, I didn't want to turn my back on the crowd. I did not. I felt uncomfortable with it.
Nice.
It was. The guy that was like that hit me. He was from Fiji, and he was wearing nothing but underwear, and I was just like, and I was singing, and he grabbed my mic stand and popped me in the mouth. You know how it chips your tooth and hits you in the lip and pisses you off right, and so you go from hey, this is great to I will fucking kill you. And that's exactly what happened.
Right.
And so then I'm pointing to our security guard like, kill him, and the security is not watching me. And Sam's looking at me like, oh, shit, Sniper's pissed. And so I'm like, get up here, motherfucker, I will fuck you, and I'm telling the guy to come up on stage because I'm going to scuff him up. Had I not had a $5,000 Charvel in my fucking hands, I probably would have dove in the crowd and took him out. However, Spade's over there just trying to get the security guard to get him over there. So our security guy, who's about 6'5", pretty tough guy, went over and had some words with him. And then they got the other security guy over there to get him from the front of the stage because I wanted to fucking kill him, but they just moved him to the back of the room. or somewhere else.
Right.
And then,
right.
Spade, you take over from here because I didn't really see what happened after that.
Oh, then they took him in the back, and he was just starting stuff. I don't know why they didn't kick him out of the building, but he was just, drunk rugby player wanted to fight.
I think I'm like a dumbass.
Went to a 3D in your face concert, and a rugby game broke out.
Yeah, it was
That's right.
Our second song, we played Midnight Devils, playing an original, and the second song of the night, a circle pit broke out. And I thought it was the coolest thing I'd ever seen, But I'm thinking, like, man, this is the 80s rock and roll concert. This is not,
This is
the casual
exactly.
or something.
It's not Pantera, Metallica. What are we doing moshing here?
I still think it's cool, but...
Back in the day, the last band that Thunder and I were in together in Florida, we were playing this show, and this was a heavy metal band, and we were, it was not uncommon to see mosh pits at our shows. But one time, it was a song, one of our heavier songs that I did not play the guitar in. So I had set my guitar down. I'm just there, and this big old pit, and all of a sudden I see this guy, this guy that I knew in front of the stage and everything. And I don't know, he didn't piss me off or anything, but I just dove off the stage, head first off the stage, with my arm up and my from my elbow to my wrist tucked in, and it kind of looked like the flat part of a chicken wing. And I clocked him like right in his neck with all of my weight onto him, and laid him out cold. And then from then on, that became known as the flying chicken wing.
Nice.
It was quite fun. Well, later that show, and not using a wireless at all, I had, like 25-foot cable. I jumped into the mosh pit with my bass still on. Yeah, right in front of the stage, and I just tucked it up to my neck and was playing, and just bumping people off. It was so much fun, man. That was one of the greatest shows ever. I mean, But speaking of crazy shows like that and people getting up on stage, we were talking about a band that we had seen, or Bill's seen a couple times. I saw them once, and their lead singer passed away a couple weeks ago. The band Guar.
Oh yeah.
Well, when the time that we saw Guar together, there was a big mosh pit going on. Everybody's having a good time, but these two guys got into a fist fight in the middle of the mosh pit. They quit playing completely, stopped everything right there. And the lead singer is like, oh, wait a minute. Listen, man, I understand moshing, have some fun, get some animosity out, get some aggression out. He said, but if I see you throwing fists again, you guys are out of here. And he looked at those two guys and said, listen, you guys are done like dinner. If you guys do it again, you're going to be out of here. And the person who throws the next punch, I'm going to whoop your ass. But everything calmed down, and then he started playing again, and the mosh pit got going again. And one of these guys, man, they bumped into each other again, and he got mad and started throwing fists again. Well, without stopping, the lead singer drops his microphone, looks at security, points the guys out. They dragged his ass on stage. And he grabbed him by the shirt and looks at the crowd like, I told you, and leaned him over his leg and punched him square in the face like 3 or 4 times as he fell to the stage.
Holy shit.
And they dragged him off. Just, he was gone. Now, I don't know if this is part of the shot, but it was one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my life right there. They picked up the microphone, they went on and played the rest of the show, and it was as cool as can be, man.
That is awesome.
Oh, it was ridiculous. I mean, alien blood going everywhere. I mean, it was the coolest thing ever.
Super cool.
Yeah, and we were talking about that a couple for last week, I think it was.
It was last week or the week before, yeah.
And I heard an interview years ago with Guar, and where the singer, the guy that Otis Arungus, who's the guy who passed away, he was saying that Guar could actually go on forever because of the costumes. Well, hopefully he meant it, because I'd like to see Guar again.
I can see it happening. Hell, if Journey can go on with little Oriental guys singing, any band can keep going. And that guy's ridiculous good.
He is fantastic. Well, Kiss, they do it. I mean,
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what good, bad, and different. They keep going.
There's so many bands out there who have one original member. The bass player will spin off and do his own gig, and the guitar player will do his own thing, especially bands from like the, late 60s and early 70s. Will go on and add, bring in new members, but, one of the founding members will be a part of the band. There's so many bands out there that are 7 groups deep. Yeah. Especially, that generation. Just do a spinoff. Well, all right, well, I'm a founding member. I have the rights to be a song as well, so I'm going to get a band that does this. And then, the singer does it, and the guitar player does it, or the keyboard player.
Right.
It's not so much anymore with, bands do it nowadays, too. A lead singer will leave a band. Look at, like, David Lee Roth and, things like that where they spin off and do their own thing. Even Motley Crue, they've done it, but not at such a big scale. But
yeah. Looking at it, speaking of, weird stories, I found this other one. There's a nursing home in New York that is being sued because they were hiring strippers for their patients.
Look, man, that's where I need to put my. I got no problem with that, dude. My grandpa, I loved him to death, man. He kind of reminded me of Jimmy Stewart, the way he talked and acted. But he was always a little dirty son of a bitch, man. Just joking around. He'd look at my grandmother. I remember being 10, 12 years old at my grandparents' house. He'd look at my grandmother and be like, "Hey, Rita, you want to go take a nap?" And at that time, I didn't realize what he was talking about. And now I'm like, oh, really? Come on now. I'm sitting right here, but I'd sit there and watch HBO, and they had that burlesque show that used to be on HBO, and I'd watch that with my grandma. I'd be like, oh, yeah, look, I'm at Grandpa's house. I get to see some movies tonight, But, there's no big deal. Look, man, you got Parkinson's. He's not going to remember tomorrow. He's got that shaky hand. He might as well use it. Come on now.
I pose a serious question. Do they supply porn at the nursing homes?
They should.
They should?
Why not?
Sure, why not? Well, think about it. They're people. They're people. I'd like to think that that if I make it far enough to where I'm actually have to go into a nursing home, I'd like to think that I'd be able to sit there and jam some freaking heavy metal music if I wanted to.
Do you stash it under the bed that goes up and down, like under the mattresses, or what?
Damn it, I broke another CD. Why was I sitting up so far?
Playboy magazine underneath the.
Well, there's nothing. I don't see anything wrong with it. Maybe they shouldn't provide it, but what if what if they decide they have an allotment for entertainment for the people that live there, and with 1 month they took a vote. They said, okay, what do you want, strippers or do you want shuffleboard?
Exactly. You want some dumbass playing piano out here in the middle of the commons while you're eating dinner, or would you rather have a lap dance where you go to bed? Give them the option at least.
Don't forget to pack up Grandpa's porn magazines and get them to the rest home.
That's right,
Do you have a problem with that, Spade?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay.
Are they like licensed nurses? Are they like nurse strippers?
They're not licensed, but they do dress up like nurses.
Yeah, did they go to like stripper nurse college?
She had a stethoscope.
The picture has this male stripper giving a lap dance to an old lady.
Oh yeah.
Ew.
Let her have some fun.
I know, and the person that's suing is her husband, or not her husband, her son. Why the hell? Damn.
Everybody knows as long as you don't touch you, it's all good.
Exactly.
It's like you don't want to break the law,
These people are these people over 18? Yeah, considerably.
By a long shot.
Yeah. So what's the problem here?
Mercy.
The term "dirty old man" did it was originated for a reason. Spade, you and I are talking about this show that you guys have coming up. That's it's actually in an arena, a small arena. Tell us about that.
Yeah, my station, Big O 1019, is putting on a big. It's just like a big summer kickoff tour with a band called Hairball at the Ralston Arena in Omaha, and this will be like our first arena show I've ever played, and we're kind of going all out. The big bombs and pyro and lights and everything. It's just this huge show that we're throwing in Omaha, and trying to shake things up a little bit and get people excited for what's to come.
And do you guys have anything booked down the road for, like, you're talking about your tour?
Yeah.
I mean, are there? I mean, is that what you're talking about when you're talking about getting people kind of shaken up for what's coming?
Yeah, absolutely. It's just like the summer tour is coming together. It's coming together really nicely with a bunch of dates are coming in and shows and stuff that we're really excited to do. So this is just like something that's going to take us to the next level, and that the radio station wanted to put this on, and we were fully behind it. And it's just kind of taken on a life of its own, where everybody's Omaha's coming together, and all of our fans are coming together to make this one of the biggest shows that's happening in the area.
Oh, that's really cool. The band Hairball. Tell us about them, because I thought they were a pretty interesting concept of what they've done.
Yeah, they're like it's kind of I've never seen them live. I've only seen videos of them, so I can't really say. I hear they got 3 different lead singers, and they each dress up like say like Gene Simmons or Freddie Mercury or who's David Lee Roth.
Michaels.
And they'll come out.
Is one of them.
Yep, they'll come out and do songs like that.
Is it only the singer that dresses up, or do you have guitar players?
Yep, no, they have 3 different singers. So like one singer's out on stage, the other singer's changing his clothes to look like another singer from the era.
That's really cool.
So yeah, it's kind of like we've been like we've not necessarily been rivals with these guys, but we've been doing the same thing for so long, 14 years almost. We've never done a show together, so this will be the first time that we've actually shared a stage together.
And it's a freaking arena. Are you guys playing first, or are they?
We're going to be playing first.
Do you have to play in front of their gear?
I don't know. I'm not really for sure about that. I know they cleared us to bring in our full show, so we're going to do our whole thing that we do.
Oh, well, then maybe you won't be playing in front of their gear.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Oh, I was just asking because what I would love for you guys to get a camera crew in there to film that, at least film, maybe shoot a live video there for one of your songs or whatever. Because you're not. I mean, I'm sure you guys will have a chance to do that, again, but you guys probably won't have a chance to play in a venue like that, like within the next, few months.
Yeah, I mean, everything pretty much goes outside afterwards.
How big is your stage setup that you guys have right there?
It all depends on what we're playing, and we bring in our own risers and our own lights and PA and everything. But for that show, everything's provided, so we can make it as big or as small as we need it to be.
That's pretty cool right there. So you guys will have the full effect. I mean, the risers, and as you said, like having the risers and maybe some steps there where you can run around. That'll be definitely be exciting right there, man. To kind of play like the bands you've watched your whole life growing up and be able to play something that big and in a venue that big, it's just going to be amazing.
Yeah. I'm looking for Sniper. How do you feel?
Well, I'm excited we're wireless. I just want to be loud and huge and jump around a lot and play some like killer guitar. I mean, Spade and me both have the mindset that's like, good enough if there's 3 people or 3,000. We're going to give them their money's worth, because
absolutely.
I mean, how many times have you gone to a bar or I see a band and they stand in place and you're like, what the fuck, man? Can't you be excited about the music? Even if it's your favorite band, you go, they kind of stood around a lot, And so I mean, we talked about this before, where you go see a band and you're like, so they're playing the songs, but they don't even have any energy. It's just a paycheck to them, you know. And you're
exactly. Or you go see a band that you love on the radio, and when you go see them live, they put so many effects into their music that they don't even sound the same. You kind of feel cheated and sold out, you know. It's like, oh, really? You know, not what I was expecting.
Yeah. One thing about us is we really, I mean, I'm just at Spade. I play loud. I mean, I don't, you know, we just play loud, and I like to have a lot of, we're real raw live, and that's what we shoot for. I mean, we're not polished like Freedom Theater or anything like that. We play raw. We make mistakes. We jump around. We have fun, you know. But it's music. Rock music is not meant to be perfection. It's meant to be raw and dirty. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
absolutely,
when you play music, it's like taking a gambler a chance, because you're you know, I've never seen Eddie Van Halen play a perfect show, and I'm sure he never has. You know, so I'm like, of course you want to go and do the best you can, but you want to have fun. And if you make a mistake, oh well, it doesn't matter. Keep going. You know, it is what it is.
Exactly.
You know?
Well, I don't want something to sound just like the album,
right?
Because you know, how do you know that what you're listening to isn't the album?
Right. Well, you may as well watch YouTube then.
Right.
I mean, that's one thing about guys that I grew up listening, like Eddie and Randy and George Lynch. They extended their solos into these cool and jams at the end. You're like, yeah, that's cool. You know, you're like, fuck yeah. When Dawkins' album, yeah.
Sorry, when Dawkins' album Beast from the East came out, I mean, I was really surprised at just how live that one really was. I mean, it almost didn't really do itself any justice because of the fact that there was it was completely raw. There was nothing in the background. It was just the guitar. Whereas like on the album, you'll hear like a rhythm guitar track when the guitar player is playing a solo, when you're in a 4-piece band where the singer doesn't play. But for that album, it just didn't really translate very well. But I've seen Dokken in concert where it did. So what did you think of Beast from the East?
I thought it was raw. I'm with you on that. I'm a giant George fan, and I'm with you on that 100%. I was like, oh, but then you know, when you say that, I've seen some clips of Van Halen from their heyday, and you're like, oh, wow, you know. But when you're there at the concert, you're like, man, these guys rock, you know. And maybe it's because the speakers and the computer or your room ain't doing it justice, and maybe you're not getting the vibe of the live feel, because I've never seen Eddie put on a bad show. Every time I've seen he's live, he's fantastic. But you listen to him on some of these 2004, 2008, you know, clips on YouTube, and you're like, hey, you know, you're not really sure how to take it. But
well,
I mean, the same could be said for every band out there. I mean, you go. I've seen a clip from the Electric Boys playing somewhere, and it was dreadful. I'm like, oh my God! And I love that song, Lifts and Hips, you know. And you hear him play, you're like,
I listened to that song just the other day.
yeah, great song. And then you hear him live, you're like,
it is.
Wow, that's terrible. You know.
But I was. I just had a brain fart. Oh, we're talking about YouTube and stuff. You know, YouTube is, I don't know what anybody else thinks about this, but I've kind of come to the realization that YouTube is kind of doing a disservice because, like, for example, one of my favorite bands is Queensryche, and I got all caught up in all the drama and all the crap going on with them changing singers and all that stuff, and the new album coming out. And every time somebody would put a performance from various concert onto YouTube, I'd watch it as soon as it came out, watch it 5 or 6 times. Now I've seen the whole freaking set list that they're touring with, and if they came, I probably wouldn't be all that excited to go because I've already seen the set.
What the best thing for YouTube for me is when I don't have a recording of the song and I want to learn it, I can go there and get it for free and be like, oh, that's how they're doing. And then you get an idea for endings and stuff. And for me, like some of the older stuff, Van Halen, Doc, and Motley Crue rap from the older stuff when they were in their heyday and their live performances and they were sounding really great. I love it for that. For the new stuff, yeah, I'm with you. I just, you know what? I'm not all that thrilled with a lot of the camera phone recordings and stuff they've thrown on there. It sounds terrible. I mean, you get to see them, and that's cool. If they never came to your area, you'd be like, oh man, I can watch it. But there's nothing beats being there with the 120 decibels just blaring PA, just killing you. Whether they do some cool song, and you're like, YouTube can't. It's good and it's bad at the same time. It
is. It's been the aspect that, like, as, when we were kids, I mean, as I said, you go out there and you got to put posters up on light posts or what so have you to, to get out there and, do a little advertisement. Now you can get on YouTube and put whatever you want out there. The problem with it is anybody can get out there and put whatever on YouTube. So there's so much garbage in there also with, some of the good stuff. So, I mean, you really got to filter yourself through because, I mean, anybody can go out there who's had a guitar for 2 days and think that they can play Alice in Chains cover with no voice and they'll put it on YouTube. You're like, oh, yeah, that sounds, yeah, it sounds.
Speaking of garbage on YouTube, you can go on YouTube to find my page. It's William Telltale on YouTube, and you can find recordings of all the interviews that we've done.
We are the receptacle of radio, so if you like garbage, come listen to us.
When you think of garbage, you think of Hakeem.
Oh, man, Coming to America. That's a great movie.
God, I haven't seen that movie forever. Let's go ahead and break. Again, we'll play another song. Which you guys pick it? We got Midnight Devils. We've got I Still Believe in Rock and Roll. And we've got Underneath the Stairs.
Underneath the Stairs.
All right.
Spade, you down with that one?
Oh yeah.
Is there a backstory on that one? Because that's
this is another one Sniper and I collaborated on, and it was really easy. I think natural. It came to us. He had this riff, and I kind of came up with this storyline based off of the Amityville Horror, and the movie that went along with it, and how we'll take you down to hell underneath the stairs, and hell is kind of our party, and the whole thing is kind of it takes place coming from the other side, looking at it from the other side, not from the victim side, but from and not necessarily the killer side either, but from a positive standpoint, I guess you will. Not saying that kill those people is a positive standpoint, but it's just a different way to look at it.
Wait, I'm going to kill you, but on the bright side, we're going to have really fun.
On the bright side, have really fun. Yeah, Amityville Horror, man. I remember watching that as a kid. The one scene that really got me is the window scene right there with the hands in the window. Oh, to this day right now, dude, when you sit there and you put your hands on a windowsill and you're like looking out the window, you're like, maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe I shouldn't put my hands right there. Exactly. Yeah. It's one of those movies that just kind of sticks with you, kind of like the poltergeist and the chicken thing right there.
Yep, that's right along the lines of where the inspiration from the song came from, is seeing those videos as a kid.
Well, cool. Let's play it, and we'll be right back with 3D in Your Face on the Will and Thunder Show. liked it. Welcome back to the War and Thunder Show.
That was awesome, man. I'm glad I don't have stairs in my house. I only have a one story now because I'm going to be all right this evening. That was a little heavier, man. That had a different vibe to the other stuff I've heard. That was good, man. That was really good.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like that one. That the first time I heard that a while back when I reviewed the album on Sleaze, that one kind of stuck with me until however long it was until we started, talking regularly. Yeah, that one stuck. A minor is a scary key. D minor is the saddest of all keys, but A minor I think is the scary key.
Speaking of your review there on Sleaze Rocks, sorry, Sniper, I didn't mean to go ahead.
No, I was going to say that one. I remember me and Spade wrote that. He kind of had a couple ideas, and I kind of gave him this thing. I'm like, what do you think of this? And he was like, yeah. And then I dirtied it up a little bit, and then when the chorus came, we changed it a little bit, and then there's a weird part in the middle where after the guitar solo, we do a completely different vibe of the song, and it just came together in one. We worked on it for about 10 minutes one day, and then we were rehearsing at 3D Mansion West, and it just came together, and then we just that one was one of them songs that came together. It was just boom, 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 boom. Some songs
you wrote that while you were in the studio?
No, we and Spade worked on that at a rehearsal one night before. We normally practice a couple nights a week, and and that's when me and Spade usually like bounce ideas off each other.
Right.
And we actually wrote that one waiting for the drummer to show up, I believe, and which is how most of the songs get written. Just so you know, we're waiting for the drummer to show up, and we start working on songs.
That's the way that's it right there. Look, I got an idea on this guitar riff. All right, here we go. And the drummer's here. What do you think about this right here?
Drummer,
you got some lyrics you can put to this?
What's weird is how I used to write in other bands and other things, projects I worked on. I usually always would go to the drummer first and say, "Hey, man, I got this cool friggin' riff. Check it out. Here's what I got in mind. Here's what I got in drums." And the guy I work with now, he puts like catchphrases to make for a drum part. So he'll go, "Pat boom, Debbie boom," and I'm like, "Yeah, that'll work." You know, I mean, that's how he does stuff. He's just a different kind of drummer. But now I go to Spade first. Then I say, "Hey, man, we got these couple ideas, and we normally incorporate it. And then what do you think for drums?" And we're like, "Well, let's just go to practice and try to make him play something, you know. I don't know." But in his defense, he's like Keith Moon in a lot of ways, and so I dig that. But it's like he'll play something one time, and then we'll play it like 2 minutes later, and you're like, "What happened? That's nothing like you played the first time." It's like, "I'm just checking out the room," and and you're like, "Oh, what?" You're like, "You played like you had it before." It's like, "Well, I'm just checking a few things out." You're like, "Yeah." It's just in the middle of a song for no reason. Just start doing halftime. We're like, "What are you doing?" You know, he's like, "What?" We're like, "Don't do that. Just play it straight right there." You know, he's a great dude though, but he's just blatant funny. What can I tell you?
It's so crazy because people don't realize how much different drummers are. I mean, a lot of people who aren't musicians can listen to, all different kinds of bands. Like, oh, it's just a drummer. They're just, banging on this snare and the, bass drum, whatever. They're just keeping beat. It's so much different, when you're a musician. I've played with so many different types of drummers right there. I played with one right there, which drove me crazy because he never played the same thing twice. Never. And as a bass player, I'm trying to follow him and, keep the melody going. But, when I think, all right, we got something worked out here, this sounds good, I'd go to do a run or something, and he'd play something totally different again. I'm like, dude, I mean, give me some consistency here. Give me something here to work with. I mean, yeah. And then he had nerve one time to go, "Oh, you don't know what you're doing as a bass player." I'm like, are you kidding me? I was like, if you could play the same beat twice at the same speed, we might have something going here. But I cannot read your mind. Look.
That guy never got to play a show with us, so it's no big deal.
No, he didn't. But look, he drove me so crazy. It was like for like 3-4 weeks, we were trying this guy out, and it was just so ridiculous. I was just like, look, man, if I could have taken my bass guitar off and swung it and hit it in the head like a baseball bat, I'd have loved it. It was just so. I mean, he was just one of those players that had no concept of consistency. It was different every time.
I mean, as far as I was concerned, he was, he wasn't, as far as I was concerned, he was a good drummer. But, I wasn't part of the rhythm section either. Have you guys ever been with a bad drummer? Because I've been with, I've been fortunate to have been in, bands where the majority of the drummers that I've been in bands with have all been good drummers. Some of them even who really, really, really freaking good. But the last band that I was in, the drummer was freaking awful. I mean, God. I mean, he make this guy that Thunder there was talking about seem like, Mike Portnoy or something. But I mean, this guy was awful. Oh my God! But we were practicing at his house, so.
You kind of put up a little bit at that point right there.
Yeah. Have you guys ever been with a really bad drummer?
I remember I was in another band. This is probably 10, 12 years ago, and we were playing on. We had this killer drummer, and he decided to move to Phoenix, and I was devastated. I'm like, oh. So we're auditioning drummers, and this guy comes over, and he's got like the Cage, and they're Tana chrome drums, and I'm just like double kick, like a Neil Peart set. And I'm like, oh my God, this guy's got to be awesome. And we're like, okay, great. So he's setting up. It takes like 45 minutes to set up. We're like, well, and we were trying to get like 3 auditions in that night. And he's like, okay, I'm ready. What song you want to do? And we're like, well, we gave you a list. You tell us what you want to do. He's like, all right, we'll do this song by Metallica. And I'm like, okay. He's like, how's it start? Just like that's how he says to me, how's it start? And I'm like, normally we put the sticks together 4 times when we start the goddamn song, you know? And so he goes, and he's like, he clicks 3 and starts on 4, and I'm like, and then you feel obligated to play at least a few songs with him because he spent 45 minutes setting up his kit. And it was literally 20 minutes of brutal, like, Chris just looking at the ground, shaking his head, going, oh, my God. And we were trying to play Whom the Bell Tolls. And he couldn't, I mean, just...
Which that's one of Metallica's more difficult songs. That's not, as far as Metallica songs on drums goes, that one's probably, pretty...
Yeah, but come on now. I mean...
But then, so we said, did you learn any of the originals? Did you play one that picked any original one? We had 10 on this disc. I go, pick one, which one you want. And I thought maybe he could learn covers, so let's see if he can, work on the originals or whatever. And we gave him like a week, and he said he only worked on like 2 or 3 songs. And I'm like, that seems odd because I can learn like 20 songs in like a day, so whatever. And he played one that we did a song called "She's My Baby" or something like that, and he's like, and I said, before he asks, it starts with a 4 count, just like that, okay? And so he starts into the song, and it's kind of an uppy song, and he's playing it like halftime, and I'm like, and so I'm the kind of person, Spade will say, I'll stop the song and go, did you fucking learn the goddamn song or not? Because I think he's playing like Bob Marley or something. What the fuck is going on here? And that's basically what I said. And
that's one of my favorite qualities of you.
Yeah, and I'm like, maybe you should start like putting your stuff away, And I'm like, I don't really want him to play with him anymore. We played 2.5 songs. It was brutal. Yeah, I think he sold his drums and he doesn't play anymore after that. I don't know.
That's one of my favorite qualities you have.
What's that?
Oh, you'll just stop us in the middle of rehearsal and be like, all right, that's fucked from the top.
That's garbage. Just call it a day on that. Let's do something else.
What's one of my most famous sayings? That's probably unfuck yourselves, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what I say. God damn it, unfuck yourself. Let's fix this shit. Yeah.
Unfuck yourself. I love that. I'm going to steal that one.
That's one of the things I miss the most about being in a band is being in a room with 4 guys, and just having those moments like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
You guys are still playing. That sounds like garbage, really?
Well,
and then getting back into it, breaking it down, just having that fun. It's kind of like you see guys that talk about going out, they're wearing their little Nike shirts and like, oh, yeah, we spent 12 hours on the golf course today. We played 18 holes. It was the 4 of us had so much fun. I'm like, you don't even know, man. Get a garage and a guitar. That's fun.
Yeah.
That's fun right there. It's that same thing, man. That's what I miss the most right there. It's not even playing the shows. It's that, 2 hours you have 4 or 5 times a week where you're sitting in there and just shooting the shit and having fun and creating shit.
All the fart jokes and everything else. Yeah, that's
exactly,
Did you guys ever have any songs that, or do you guys have any songs that just aren't, for whatever reason, are never played the same way twice? Because Thunder and I had this one ballad. It was called Solid Walls. And for whatever reason, that song, the first verse was the same. The bridge and into the chorus was always the same, the first time around. But from then on, it was always different. Either we would do just something that we could never, but we would go out and we would play that show, that song at shows, and we would all be on the same page with it, regardless of how the hell we played it. We got around to recording. We were in the studio. We tried to record that song, and we're like, does anybody actually? That's when we realized that we never played it the same way twice. We're like, does anybody actually know how this song actually goes?
Nice. Actually, there's a lot of songs we play that we don't play the same way twice. Probably because, Spade, you want to give me
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of it is, we'll sit there in rehearsal and we'll be like, okay, here's how we play these songs. We'll listen to the record, we'll all rehearse and do. But once you get up there on stage, it becomes the unknown. So you're relying on what you had learned and what you practiced, but it never happens that way. As a live musician, there's always the unknown factor of adrenaline. Some guys feeling sick. What's happening in the crowd. So I think every song we play different, and I think as a musician, you're like, unless you're running backup tracks or quick tracks, every song is going to be different than you played it the last time.
Well, I mean,
you get a basic skeleton to your song, but I mean, if you're a true musician, I mean, a basic skeleton's one thing to a song, but you know what? Right. You never know what's going to happen. There can be, especially with a guitar, like simple as a guitar string breaking. Well, I got to change up the solo now. I can't stop right now. I got to do what I got to do. So I'm going to change this bridge up a little bit, or I'm going to do that. And if you guys know each other well enough, everybody's going to kind of follow suit right there.
Right.
Yeah. I got some buddies of mine around here that really good musicians, man, and they do a lot of they've come up with a lot of original stuff they're doing now, and they thrive off that. They tell you straight up, well, you're going to come see me play this week, but if you see me 2 weeks later, you're going to hear the same song. The bass is going to be the same, but the song might be 2 minutes longer next week because I might have a guitar solo that goes over a little bit here, or this is going to change up a little bit just because we feel it. This is what's happening with the crowd right now, so we can extend this or maybe shorten this, or it all depends. And that shows true musicianship there when you have that ability to change the song up just a little bit.
Well, there's a couple songs that we do, and I know I'll name one. Spade will just kill me for saying this, but we do Yankee Roast by David Lee Roth.
Yeah.
And the beginning is not bad because I kind of fool around with my wah-wah pedal and do some Jimi Hendrix stuff and some cool, and then we start on the song. But the end, I make on a tangent and start humping my amp with my guitar and spin it around and do a couple things. And Spade's in this part that wears his hand up, but I'm just like, I don't mind because I'm all right, And he was looking at me with some deer in the headlight. I was like, come on!
That ending bass riff just kills your hand.
And I understand what you're saying right now. When you, as a bass player, when you're playing that one riff over and over again, you just try it so hard. They just keep going and going and going. You're like, listen, man, this is not the fucking Hotel California. Enough's enough, all right? I've played this riff enough fucking times, all right? Look, my hand's cramping. My shoulder's getting tired. Enough's enough. This song does not have to be 14 minutes long. Thank you, Iron Maiden. We appreciate it. Thank you. All right?
So you go to the doctor.
Basically, that's what happens. That's what happens.
You go to the doctor, and the doctor, you're telling the doctor, like, look, I'm in a band and I'm the bass player, and he's going,
Yeah, whatever, hustler. Yeah, exactly. Which is bullshit because you know what? And God love those old school songs like that who have that 27 guitar riff where you guys have fun playing it, but we're playing the same fucking thing for 30 minutes and like, really? Are you fucking kidding me? And that's when which one of the bass players who I appreciate but do not love, Billy Sheehan. That's who you want to turn into right there. You're like, all right, fuck it, I'm gonna do a solo now, you motherfucker. It's my turn. I've been playing the same 3 notes for 30 minutes while you're all right, Eric Compton, it's my turn. You guys don't understand that. You're like, oh yeah, he's just a bass player. Yeah, fuck you, all right? Look. You know what? You know why you girls like us more? Because we have stamina.
I wasn't aware that girls like
better rhythm and
more.
Stamina. Huh?
I said I wasn't aware that girls like bass players better.
Girls don't.
They don't tell you that. They still want to, keep your ego going. All right, look, we got better fingers, better rhythm, and we've got longevity. So shut up. Anyway,
once I start getting tired, I'll look at him and he'll be like, "Do you want to be a rock star or do you want to be a welder? Keep
That's
playing
what I say
that bass
too.
down. Keep playing that down."
My other thing is this ain't Golden Girls. This is a rock show. So if you want to go to bed, you go to bed. Otherwise, we're going to play a rock show.
That is so not cool right there. That is so not cool right there. That is so not cool right there.
But here's the thing. I change this. I play a lot of different stuff every night. I rarely play the same thing twice, and that's probably because the guitar players I grew up with, in particular Eddie, usually change the solos around all the time and just have, and that's what I do just to make it fresh every night so I don't play the same thing night after night after night. Because, you think it's boring, So and sometimes I do longer solos, sometimes I do shorter solos, at the end of songs or whatever, if the crowd's really dancing to their, like, AC/DC or something, I'll do a longer solo, at the end of the song. Or if they're like, nah, and then I'm like, oh, let's go to the next song, guys, but there's only a couple that Spade really starts getting worn out on. That just happens to be one of them. I'm trying to think of the other song he doesn't like to play. I can't remember, Spade. Which is it?
I don't know. We did Fight for Your Right to Party. I didn't really enjoy that.
Yeah, that was terrible. I thought we were never going to speak of that. Why are you bringing that up?
Every Rose Has its Thorn. I wasn't really good.
I hate that one too. Really, it's really not that bad as a bass player. But there are those moments there where you're like, all right, and it's great being a bass player, because if you're a true bass player, there's just nothing wrong. I mean, when you're sitting there and you're just playing with the drums, and you have your moment there anyway. But when you get to the end of a song, especially if it's had anything to do with old school Southern rock of any kind, and it is that one same riff over and over again, you're just like, okay. Okay. Are you done?
That song, like that song, "I'm Your Captain." Oh my God. The song's like 4.5 minutes long, but the ending part of it, where it just repeats one line over and over again, is like 12 minutes long.
Brutal.
And that's the studio version of it.
That was an encore. We'll see, and they minutes of doing that over and over and over.
People start clapping more, and the bass player just shaking his head like, "No, stop clapping! For God's sake, give me a minute."
I'm ready for the bow. Do the bow.
Exactly. He's looking around like this. He's looking around like, somebody got a track here? Can I just pretend for a minute?
Let's go ahead and play another song. We've got about 19 minutes left before the the overtime kicks in. So Midnight Devils or I Still Believe?
Spade, your choice.
I want to hear. I'm sorry. Go ahead, guys.
What would you like to hear?
Will and I were talking earlier about I Still Believe, and is that the anthem one you were talking about? I Still Believe, rock and roll.
Yeah. Yep.
I kind of want to hear that, man, because that's the way I feel, man. I still believe in rock and roll. You guys are tried and true proof of this, man. And I just want to hear the lyrics. I just want to hear the groove of it, man. It really, really kind of lives what you guys are doing and kind of what we're doing,
Well, that's a long song though, but we'll do it, and we'll just let everybody know there's right at midnight Eastern or 11 Central, the audio feed's going to go off. But if you're on the phone with us, you'll still be able to hear it. Now, the number to call in is 646-716-6135. If not, the rest of the show will be available on the archive by clicking the same link that you found the show with in the first place. And then sometime tomorrow or next week or whatever, I'll have it up on YouTube as well. But anyway, this is I Still Believe in Rock and Roll by 3D in Your Face. We'll be right back on the Will and Thunder Show. All right, welcome back to the Will and Thunder Show. That was I Still Believe in Rock and Roll by 3D in Your Face. Kind of ironic that we would choose that song after we were just talking about long songs.
Well, it's still that was awesome right there. And it wasn't repetitive. It wasn't repetitive. As what we were talking about is some of the songs that have the initial song that's 3 minutes and the ending that's 7 minutes. That was awesome, man. And that breakdown right there in the middle, that was awesome right there.
Thank you.
That was a great. Oh man, look, man, I'm gonna look that up on YouTube. I'm gonna put that on my MP3 right there, man. I love that, and I still believe in rock and roll. And you guys are the quintessential band right now that's still doing that hair thing. And oh man, dude, that was awesome, man.
Well, Spade had brought up.
I love that breakdown there, and it kind of jumps back up a little bit, then it stalls for a second, like I still love rock and roll. And that was awesome, man.
Well, Spade had brought up the Sleaze Rocks review, and then we went somewhere else. I'm going to read the last paragraph of that review. This right there shows you how much I like these guys, how much I respect them, and why I'm such good friends with them. I mean, but here it is. 3D in Your Face needs to be grabbed by a record label. With all the 80s bands making resurgence albums that are selling, it would be great to see the genuine act out there on the road as much as possible. The more bands that come out like this that come out there and get signed means that the more idiot radio stations will have to take notice. Same with the larger record labels. We're sick of this corporate meat-grinding pop that saturates the airways, and we're sick of being told that a majority of the people out there actually like that garbage. It's time to take it back and send the message that we're not going to take it anymore and that we still believe in rock and roll. So buy this album, sell out their shows when they come to your area.
Thanks, man.
Absolutely.
That was some excellent writing, if I must say so, sir.
Thank you.
That's
what I felt about it. That's how I felt about it.
And I agree wholeheartedly right there. I mean, this is a lost art. I mean,
it's not lost.
Well, not lost art. I mean, to an extent it is. I mean, you don't hear it anymore. You have all these. I mean, and there are some good rock bands out there. Don't get me wrong, but you don't have the true rock artists like you had from our generations who played guitar solos. Who actually, I mean, they're out there, but they're not being pushed out there. I mean, you have stupid stuff out there.
Miley Cyrus.
Exactly, but you know what I'm saying right there. You guys are the music, in my opinion, that needs to be out there. I mean, it's good, strong, fun-loving music. I mean, I don't know. I mean, this is what I grew up with, and it's what I love, man. And I want to see that resurgence of this kind of music, the MTV, and what we used to love, man. I can imagine. I was just sitting there listening to that song right now, and I was remembering back of, like Friday nights when you stayed up till 12 o'clock to see that hour of videos. Or Saturday nights,
Saturday night.
And when MTV, it was Saturday nights, that's right, Saturday night. And, watching Headbangers Ball, and, I mean, unbelievable, man. Unbelievable.
But what did you want to ask?
Oh, yeah.
What was...
the review, I just got a really random email from this guy. His name is Joe Morris from Exeter Township, Pennsylvania. And he sent me a review, or he goes, here, I'm just going to kind of read a little bit of it. He was born in Long Island, New York, moved with my family to Pennsylvania. I used to play in the local bands, whatnot. He said he had some money left on his credit card. He was looking to buy a CD to download, and he came across your review on his favorite website, Sleaze Rocks. And he checked out Generation Dirt and ended up buying the CD, and he was completely blown away by the music. Overall hard rock and sound and the songwriting. This was a no-brainer. I immediately purchased your CD and burned myself a copy, and dude, I couldn't be any happier. You guys fucking rock. Not too many bands get the 5 stars from me, but your band has it all. Great vocals, unreal guitar, solid bass and drums, and the songs really stand out. So I just got that email in my inbox today, and I thought I'd share that with you. So thank you for that review again. It really helped us out.
Thank you. I like hearing that. That's awesome, and it's it's true. I mean, and doing shows like in in Fayetteville, North Carolina, or wherever. I mean, that's how you're gonna that's how you guys are gonna get signed. You're not gonna get signed by playing in Omaha. I mean, I don't think I'm saying it like, I'm not saying screw your hometown. I'm just saying, it's like everybody there knows you. You got to get out, and that's why by helping, by bringing you guys here, especially to an area that's as diverse as, where you've got such a big following, a big wide variety of people, like is at Fort Bragg. I mean, eventually these people are going to go home, to their hometowns. They're going to be talking about this crazy hair band that got up there and just rocked the fucking place, and that's going to get people, interested in everything. So I mean, military towns. I mean, hey, if this thing goes over well, we might do the same thing in Clarksville for the 101st.
Yeah, the thing is right here, and this is what we talked about a long time ago when we started doing this little radio show right here. I mean, we started just doing it because we love music and everything, and it took us a while. It took us a couple of months to get to the music aspect, to just do it strictly music. We were going to talk politics and all that because as me and him as friends for 30 years, we'd get on the phone and we'd talk for 6 hours at times about all different kinds of things. But we both had this love for music, and what I really respect is Bill really has a great knowledge of music. And when he does find a band that he really likes and doing his reviews, that's one little thing right there that kind of opens avenues for people like us and like you guys right there. And right here, this guy would have never heard. I may not have ever heard of you guys, and now he's bought your CD and loves it because of a little review right there. And this is one thing that we can do, and still, as I said, having kids and you get stuck in certain situations there. But this is our way of being a part of this music thing and being in love with it. I mean, once you find something that you love that much, like we love music, I don't have the ability to be in a band right now, but I have the ability to talk to bands and talk to people like you who enjoy and love the same thing that I do. And we can tell stories and have fun. And all these kids out here, I mean, there might be a 12-year-old that stumbled across this on the internet that just started picking up guitar. And here's the way that you guys are talking about how much fun you guys are having, and it's going to open his eyes and just, light a fire underneath him. He could be the next Eddie Van Halen.
But we do have a couple callers. One's actually in the queue. One is not. If you're not in the queue and you want to talk, just all you have to do is press 1. But we're going to go ahead and bring this caller on. We know this guy.
Who we got coming in?
Oh, run it from there, man, with the impression.
What's up, Mobius?
How y'all doing?
What's
I
up,
was going to call
buddy?
to do an impression, but you ruined it for me, man.
Go ahead and do it anyway.
Well, I was going to call up as a little old lady and talk to y'all about celebrity meets.
And I did ruin that. I didn't do it intentionally. I've got a million things going on over here at once. So
No, it sounds good. I actually, I grew up during the era of big hair metal bands, so it's been quite the flashback.
Absolutely. And for any of you guys who have not heard our show, this is the quintessential philosophical genius known as Mobius right there.
Yep. Had him on a couple weeks ago, and his show will be up on YouTube at some point soon, just like everybody else's. Just real quick, we've got about a minute left, and if you want to continue to hear the show after this minute's up, call area code 646-716-6135. You got about a minute to do it. That's 646-716-6135. If you miss it, then after it's over, it'll be up on the archive, and in a day or two I'll have it. But anyway, if you're going to call in, awesome. If not, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next. But we still got one more song to play from the guys here, so we'll be doing that shortly.
Pick up the record.
Well.
Demon Doll Records. We're very happy to announce Demon Doll Records is carrying our record now on their website.
Oh, really? Is that a is that a label?
I was going to ask the band if they were on a tour. down here.
What's that?
Are y'all going to tour down here? I heard y'all talking about touring in, like, Nebraska, but...
Where are you located at?
Florida.
Yeah, we're in Florida. Okay, yeah, man. You know, our bags are always packed, and we would love to be down there. So we're just kind of waiting for guys like Bill to get us down there, I guess.
Well, you know, we'll start working it. And listen, guys, I'm looking forward to September because, you know, the more I talk to you guys, and you know, the more that we, you know, sit here and just bullshit. You guys are just like we are here, just hardcore, loving true rock and roll music. The Big Hair Mobius, you remember those days back then, man. And it's just fun, loving good music, man. And I can't wait to see you guys down there in Fayetteville. And I have to be there for this. I have to.
Yeah, I'd love to check you guys out if y'all make it down here.
Absolutely. We would love to be down there, too.
Oh, yeah, and I want to, you know, maybe one of these days I'll become your manager or something. But,
yeah,
our tour manager.
Well, I have to. You know, I know how to put these shows together. I know how to plan shows and everything. But one thing I don't know is how these, you know, how these bigger bands wind up getting like $10,000 and $20,000, $30,000 per performance. Once I figure that out,
well, I'll be doing really well.
Yeah.
Sponsorship. I mean, sponsorship is where it's always at. I ran a science fiction convention in Atlanta, and we would have guests that would cost $35,000. And the way we would pay for them is we would get a company to pay for them coming instead. You know, one of the folks who were coming to sell stuff, and that's how you end up paying for stuff like that.
Oh, I know
so
that.
It's not coming out of your actual pocket.
Oh, believe me, I know all that. I got all that covered. But you know, I'm not going to have any problem coming out with the number that we need to get 3D in Your Face to North Carolina. But I don't know. But that number is a far cry from, you know, $20,000, $30,000 or whatever. So.
Well, yeah, but you got to build up your numbers. You know, I mean, you've got to be able to show them. We can guarantee you this many people are going to come to your show, our shows.
Exactly,
and
it's a matter of production right there.
They're about money, so they're looking for numbers already,
right.
And that's where it makes it a little bit harder. I mean, with DragonCon pulls in 55,000 people, so
right.
That's where they were DragonCon, the science fiction.
Oh yeah, DragonCon or like
I ran their office for a couple of years, so that's where they were able to talk to a company and say, hey, you know, this is you know what we're providing for you. If you've got a band, you show them how many people you've got coming in, then that's what you're going to base some of your advertising money on. You know,
right.
Is we can pull in this many people per show, and that's going to be the bottom line for them, and that's where it makes it harder. That's why you got to do appearances on radios and you know that kind of stuff. Or back in our day, it was to be in Guitar Player and that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
Metal Edge magazine,
Jam magazine, and all that. So.
But what's the biggest crowd that you guys have played in front of as far as you know currently?
Sniper Fade, how many? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, you go
I was going to say,
5,000?
wasn't it Awesome Biker Nights when we were playing with Dawkins and I'm going to say estimated because I don't really know. I'm going to figure out 5 to. I'm just going with the promoter said 5 to 8,000, 10,000. I don't know what it was. There's a lot of people though. I don't know the actual number.
There was a bunch of heads you were looking at.
Just to give you an idea of how loud it was when the crowd cheered, I was standing on the drum riser, and I'm not going to lie to you, I play, and the word is fucking loud on stage, all right? And the singer said, and he yelled out the song, and I started it, and he told the crowd to cheer if they knew the song, cheer as loud as they could. If they didn't know it, don't make a noise. And it was Thunderstruck by AC/DC. And I started it, and they cheered so loud. I couldn't hear anything but their shooting. My amp was completely woof. And I was like, wow. Still getting chills thinking about it right now. And Spade was on the drum riser with me, and we were just like, wow. You know, we didn't know what
that's
a
unbelievable.
lot of people.
That's unbelievable.
Cool night. Good night. We had a good night that night.
I'm not.
That's a lot of people.
I don't think I'm done. I don't think I'm done yet. I think I've got at least one more band, in me before I call it quits.
I'd love to think that too, man. I mean, seriously, I really don't think I'm done either. But
if you put it together, they will come.
I have a question.
Exactly.
For the band. Yeah. What is the best metal show you ever saw? Like the best rock show you guys saw?
Sniper?
Best rock show I've ever seen.
The best rock show I've ever seen personally?
As fans when you were kids, kind of thing.
I've seen a lot of shows.
I guess that's how I should phrase it.
My top 5, I saw Kiss on the Love Gun tour, which was hard to beat, and I saw a fella by the name of Gary Moore in a fucking shithole bar in Killeen, Texas. He was on the Wild Frontier tour in 1987. He was always one of my idols. And the fact that there's only like 20, 25 people in the bar and he just destroyed the joint, I don't think he played a wrong note all night. He was fantastic. Saw AC/DC open for Cheap Trick. I've seen a lot of great shows.
One of the greatest shows I've ever seen was Faith No More, Metallica, and Guns N' Roses. Wow. It was ridiculous. I mean,
Metallica always was on us. On a amazing show back in the day.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Guns N' Roses actually had these air balloon-like puppets that came out of two sides of this stadium we were at. One was Guns, one was Roses. I mean, they were like Macy's Thanksgiving Day size balloons. And this is back in the beginning. I mean, you're in their heyday right there. It was ridiculous. And to see, Faith No More when they're in their beginning right there, that was the open act. And then Metallica played and Guns N' Roses closed it out. It was so sick and ridiculous. It was unbelievable.
Thunder. I was gonna say I actually can lay claim to a little bit of credit for you getting to see the Faith No More show, and that is really it's actually Ian Ashbury's fault because I went to see the Metallica in Greenville, South Carolina, and I got to go to one of their parties after the show at the Hyatt Regency.
Nice.
And I saw Ian Ashbury kiss James Hetfield, and I took a picture. And he flipped out. I mean, like, he went nuts. He was like, dude, give me your camera. I go, not going to happen. He's like, dude, give me your camera. I'm like, no way. He's like, give me your camera. I'm like, fuck you, buddy. And I was not one to drink often, but when I do drink, I tend to be excessive. And he reached for me, and I kind of slid along the wall drunkenly away from him. And we've been in this conversation. We were talking about poets and writers and all this shit. And he's like, your poetry's not shit. You're no Jim Morrison. You're nobody. I'm not at least I'm not the cult. And he flipped out and he grabbed my camera and started smashing it down the hallway. And he was supposed to be at the next show and apologize to me for breaking my camera. And he didn't show up backstage. And supposedly something had happened. I don't know if this is true, a family emergency. But after that, they got booted off the tour and replaced with Faith No More. So
really,
I claim the credit of getting Faith No More on there.
Holy crap!
But really,
that's like one time
fault for breaking the camera. And
what were yours, Spade? What was your? We got Chris's. We got Sniper. What was yours?
My probably first show I saw Kiss, Ted Nugent, Skid Row. But I'm a younger guy, you got to remember. So this is like their 2001 or 2002, maybe 2003 tour. But it was still general admission then. And I was 16 years old, and it just blew my mind.
I think I've been to a lot of arena concerts, where they've got 3 bands. I saw Danger Danger, Slaughter, and Kiss. I saw Kix, Rat, and Great White. Not in that order, it was Rat's show. But those are kind of hard to for me to. They all wind up sounding the same after a while. I did see Queensrÿche and Suicidal Tendencies. That was an awesome show. But when you ask me who my most awesome shows were, 2 of them stand above the others, and these were not arena shows. They were both smaller venues. I saw Spinal Tap in concert.
Nice.
I told you guys that was
cool. Are you serious?
Yeah, I saw them. On
number 11.
And that concert was amazing. They didn't have an opening act, but they played for a good 2.5 hours. And the whole thing, it was just like a whole bunch of slapstick, like you would expect from the movie. But they didn't do any they didn't rehash any of the movie's gimmicks. It was all fresh stuff.
Nice.
For example, when they played Stonehenge, they're like, we're going to get it right this time, and they start playing it, and all of a sudden when that part comes down, you see a whole, like hundreds of rocks falling, like the thing was made too big and it broke into a bunch of pieces. There was that, and then there was another show where I saw Deep Purple. It was right after Ian Gillan. It was right after Steve Morse had joined the band, but Ian Gillan had just reunited with him. So, and I was like front row center for that, and I actually got to meet the guys afterwards, and that was really cool. Because Ian Gillan is one of my.
You got to meet Deep Purple?
Yeah.
Awesome, dude.
I didn't meet the keyboard player.
Okay.
I didn't meet him.
I'm going to say a little story right here. You guys remember the concert called Woodstock, right?
Yeah.
Little story right here. When Will and I first started playing together, we were about 12, 13 years old. When we were about 14, about a year into this, we were still in a garage making noise. But my uncle, he played with a band that was kind of big in the 60s and 70s. He was in town, so we're like, hey, I was like, you got to come see my band. Because I thought we were something. Well, we thought we were something. So he comes and listens to us make a bunch of noise, and my lead singer at the time looks at him and goes, so I understand that you are an established musician. What's the biggest show you ever played? And he's like, well, I guess it'd have to be Woodstock. Well, me at that time did not realize how big the band my uncle played in kind of was. And we're all like, really? And so, this is the 80s or whatever. My uncle was in a band called Blood, Sweat, and Tears.
Jeez.
Wow.
And I was like, now, the sad note about this, when I was about 7 years old, me and my older brother, who was 2 years older than I was, my parents had an awesome record collection.
And what did you do to it?
We found out that those records fly like frisbees. and they explode if you throw them hard enough against a brick wall. So my parents' record collection that they had back then turned to dust.
And I bet you couldn't sit down for a week after that.
And there was a couple of my. Oh, look, you don't even know. I still have marks. But
let's play that last song that we have. This one's Midnight Devils, the title track from the album. Any backstory on that one?
This one we kind of wrote. I think I was talking to the drummer, and we were like riding home from a show or something, and we were talking about how wild the people at the show were, and we just kind of came up in conversation. It seems that all these people that we know, everybody changes when the sun goes down. Whether you change for the better or for the worse, everybody changes, and that feeling you get Saturday night right about 8:00. The sun's going down, and you're out to make some memories. and the shit's going to get crazy, and you're just holding on for your life, and you know this is going to be a good time. That's basically the entire theme for the record, and I think it was the theme that summed up why I wanted to do this record. It's just that feeling you get when you crank up the stereo in your car. You know, it's that adrenaline.
Awesome, and that's actually the 4 that we've played tonight are actually my 4 favorites off the record. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and play that, and I actually have another question.
Yeah.
You know, I'm getting this. You know, when we talk about these songs, I keep hearing Sniper there say, "Okay, well, Spade did this, Spade did that." I mean, was this album pretty much your brainchild, or how many of the songs on there did you write? I mean, I know it's a group effort, obviously, but in every song that's written, there's like one person that did more for an individual song than the rest of the guys did.
You know, not really. I wouldn't say it was my child as much as it was. Sniper and I put a lot of heart and soul into it, and we collaborated, you know, more than any 2 guys should I ever think collaborate. And it was both of us. We bounced ideas off each other, and we're like, "This is what I'm thinking. Here's my idea," and he's like, "Go with it." And you know, he would just back me up in anything that I needed to just get off my chest or to get out of my mind. He would say, "Let's do it. Let's go that way. You know, you're onto something here." So I can't take any of the credit. It was totally a group effort, and I don't. You know, I wrote some of the lyrics, and he wrote some of the lyrics, and he wrote all the guitar parts. So it's totally a group, and I couldn't have done it without those guys. Yeah, and it was kind of it was my first time ever really writing records or writing songs and writing lyrics, and it just kind of flowed out of me, and I liked it, and I love writing songs. It's a wonderful thing. Where Sniper's really good at writing amazing guitarists that people just lose their mind on. So we just kind of we work really well together as a songwriting partnership.
That's awesome, man. Well, let's go ahead and listen to this song right here. Once again, man, it's 3D in your face, man.
The Midnight Devils will be right back on the Lone Thunder Show. welcome back to the Will and Thunder show. That was Midnight Devils by 3D in Your Face.
Hey, Will, can I jump in here a second? I wanted to expand on what Spade said earlier when you were asking about if it was, what you're talking about in the songwriting.
I wasn't trying to step on anybody's toes.
No. I just wanted to. We all had ideas, but Spade on like a few things, but I like Spades the best. So,
okay.
As far as the concept of Midnight Devils, we all had ideas what we wanted, and so sometimes like there was only like one song that I totally wrote myself and one song that Spade totally wrote himself on the record. The rest of them we collaborated on, and what I found was working with Spade was, or him even working with me, was we had a certain kind of chemistry that worked, because sometimes the artist that's working on it, he only sees it one way,
Right.
And so present an idea to Spade, and he'd say, yeah, that's cool, but what about, he had a little bit different perspective than I did, or he would say something to me, I'm like, no, what if we do this here instead? And it seemed like with me and him, there was no animosity or no like, artists and their songs are like they're like the children, so they're really guarded about them. They get very sensitive.
Oh yeah,
artists are very sensitive about it. And so, and Spade had such an easygoing persona about it. He'd say, when we were working on I Still Believe in Rock and Roll, he's like, well, I got this idea. And so he's like, I'm thinking about doing this and this, and I just kind of came up with a few chords. We're in my basement here with a couple of crappy amps and just listening to it in a couple chairs and rocking, and it just kind of flowed together. I wanted to play some kind of Pete Townsend kinds of chords behind it because I thought it was kind of cool. And that's basically how almost the whole album was written. He or I would present ideas to each other, and all the songs I write are very sexual, where Spade's more like, he makes like the words mean more. Mine are flat out just like, hey, in your face, squeeze me dry, that's the kind of stuff I write. More gut level kind of stuff, where Spades has like more meaning and
even musical wise. I mean, you can sit there in a basement or a garage or whatever, and you end up playing the same thing over and over and over again until you have someone that you connect with and play with them,
right.
And then they're gonna switch something up for a second and be like, oh yeah, all right, well let's do it. That's a bridge right there. We can change from here to here. That's one thing that I've noticed, especially through the years as I've gotten older, and I still play, but as I said, I don't have the time to play with a band. I'll find myself playing the same things over and over and over again. I might catch a little something off the radio or from a song that I hear, like, oh yeah, I can do this, but it's nothing like sitting in a room with somebody else that you're throwing ideas back and forth
right.
off of.
And I wasn't trying to suggest that.
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to suggest that like one person, when I tried to explain what I was talking about, it didn't come out the right way.
I didn't take it the other way. I just wanted, we both. I mean, when he said, I think we should name the record Midnight Devils, I'm like, absolutely, I'm behind 100%. I think that's a great idea. I was like, I had an idea, but I was like, it wasn't nowhere as good as Midnight Devils. So, I wanted to call it In Your Face, but of course that don't work because the name of the band's 3D In Your Face, So they're like, it's the same thing twice. I'm like, yes, I know, but but Spade was like, what about Midnight Devils? I'm like, love it, love it. And he kind of laid out what he had in mind, and I'm like, yeah, I totally support you 100%. So I love it, I mean, a good idea is a good idea, regardless of whoever came up with it. And so, getting to when we were working on the material, it was a definite departure from stuff I had done in the past and stuff that 3D had done in the past, because I was a much different guitar player, and Spade is a much different bass player than the guys we replaced.
Right.
And I think in the albums before, maybe only one or two guys wrote it because it doesn't sound like the 3D record now. Not that it's any better or any worse, it's just different. And so I don't think, I don't know how to say, I don't think the record would have been as good if Spade was on it or if I wasn't on it. I think together I think we're a good team. And whether you like
you evolved together. You guys have evolved together and grown together, and you guys have created a sound because of the two of you guys.
Well, I mean, you got to include the drummer and the singer too. I just,
absolutely.
Obviously, like I said, when you start a song, you kind of like, hey, this is my baby. Don't want to, no one messing with it, but you got to let go a little bit. And
right.
I think the chemistry. I mean, I equate it to something as simple as like a football team. When that running back scores an 80-yard touchdown, he didn't do it alone.
No, you had your line blocking for him, the quarterback faking, and exactly, it's exactly what it is. And, people don't realize how complicated music really is. They think it's as simple as having four guys that play different instruments and they play their part. They don't realize how intricate it is to kind of bring it all together in a cohesive formula right there. I mean, and it takes so long to get one song, even a part of a song that fits so well together. Four different guys, sometimes more than that have different ideals, and to come up with a cohesive thing that everybody in the band enjoys, first of all, to put it out there and to make it to where you think that everybody else who listens to it enjoy. I mean, it's as complicated as chemistry sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, Spade, for his part, is super easy to work with. He never says no. And I don't mean that in a sexual way. I just mean like for writing songs and stuff. He's really easy to work with. I'm probably harder to work with than he is because I'm like, I hear something and I'm like, I don't like to stray too far from it. And I'm like, I call it the artist's vision, and I explain that to Spade, and I explain to the guys in the band. I'm like, they want to throw too many ideas in sometimes, and I'm like, hey, guys, here's what I see in my vision. This is what I want to try, and then we'll see how we'll get from there. And Spade's more like open about that than I am probably, but Spade's also real receptive. If I say, hey, man, maybe we should try this, like a C here instead of a G or whatever, something along those lines, and so he's really easy to work with. I'm probably not as easy to work with. Just I know myself, so so that's what made everything. I thought when we write, everything was just pretty much seamless. It seemed like the work so easy for me. I don't know how Spade's point of view is, but I'm like some of the songs like bam, 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 done. It just seemed like, and then there was ones that were like you're like, what the hell? Why can't we do? And but when it came time when the red light was on, it seemed to work pretty good. A lot of those were taken as 1 and 2 takes, and then I come back and put a couple guitar parts behind it, and then they throw some backup vocals. But for the most part, the three musicians that were like doing the backing track, or the drums, bass, and guitar, we'd play in the same room. When my amp was in another room and it was just loud as shit, and this thing would sing a scratch track, but most of those were done like in 1 and 2 takes. So I was real proud of that. I like the raw vibe feel because you can play it 35 times in a row. You're gonna be like, maybe we should move on because you lose the freshness and the vibe and the feel of the song.
Right.
But, I don't mean to overextend on that. I just
No.
It's how the record went.
This is 3D in your face on the Will and Thunder show. This isn't it's your show. But yeah, I mean, and one thing, do you punch in on your solos, or if you mess up, do you start over again?
Nope. In fact, there was a solo that, and it was called Sleeping in Omaha, and I just couldn't get it. I'd like, stop, back it up. I was like, wasn't sure what I was going to do. And I was looking down. I don't know if I told the story now, but I started looking at this tree out the studio window. All right, I just started looking at this tree, and the guy's like, "You ready?" I'm like, just. I said, "Give me like 2 minutes, man. Just let me look at this tree. Let me fucking zone out here." And I could hear Spade and Hot Rod on the talkback kind of lit because I hear through the headphones, and I'm like, run it. And I did this solo, and I don't think I've ever been able to play it the same way again. I'm Sleeping in Omaha. And when I was done playing it, Spade was like, "That's it, you got it, man." And I'm like, let me hear it. And
don't let him kid you. He did 75% of the solos on the first take during the scratch, like not the scratch tracks, but while we were all three sitting there, you know, most guitar players will play the rhythm part when they're sitting there. He's like, nah, I do the lead part. We're like, what? Are you fucking kidding me? So he would rip the lead out and then go back under and do the rhythm track. It's unheard of.
Yeah, I mean, the reason I asked is because like when I when I record a guitar part, I don't want to be punched in, and the first time I started doing it, I was being punched in and everything, and I never really kind of I could hear like I could hear the break in the tempo. Maybe nobody else could, but I could hear it. I could hear it. It's like, okay, that's where I punched. That's where he punched me. And but then I stopped doing that one time when I was reading through the credits on this Dokken album when Red Beach was the guitar player, and it's I can't remember which album it was, but Red Beach in his credits actually said, "I'd like to thank Eddie Van Halen for telling me that that guitar players sound better when you don't punch in, or when you do it in one take or whatever." I can't remember exactly how it was worded.
It's funny you say that, Will, because I told when I first started, I said I want to play the solo. So like, why? I go, I want to pretend it's a gig. I'm going to play it like I do on stage, so there'll be no rhythm guitar, and I'll be fine with that. And that's how I did them. There was like one or two songs where I didn't have an idea for a solo. So what I said, I'll play the rhythm on that, and I actually had to learn how to play it. I'm like, hey, what are you playing there, And we'd play it, and then that was the only song I punched in, I think, was Best Sleeping Omaha. The rest of them I tried to do, like, as we were playing, because I didn't want, and like you said, to me it felt weird to sit there and not play the song and say, okay, say play now. And I've never done that. I'm just pretending we're at a gig, like I'm in front of people, and not how I would play in front of people. Because some of the songs we'd actually played in front of people before we recorded them, about 3 or 4 of them, and that's what I tried to do to make the song feel real. And then the couple I did have to punch in, for whatever reason, that one slips down my head because I just was lost. Couldn't get any foundation or anything, and I just started staring at that tree, and then I'm like, let's do it, and I did it, and I'm like, oh yes, at last, I'm onto something here, and then it turned out to be one of the better solos on the record. So I really did like it. I don't think I've played it that good ever since. That one time I recorded it. But,
when I record, I'm better live than I am on when I'm recording, whether I'm singing or whether I'm playing guitar. It's just in fact, a couple nights ago I was doing some rehearsing, trying working my voice out and everything, and it wasn't going so well, and then my daughter has this little toy microphone, and I'm like, you know what, give me that. And I started using it and pretending, like I was on stage. Which my vocals improved.
Mindset. There you go. It's your mindset. There you go. Yeah.
I mean, I still have a ways to go to get my voice back into shape, but still, it's like, okay, I need to be on stage. So. But just to let you know, we lost Thunder. He dropped off, and when we're doing this overtime thing, if I lose it, then the show's over. But Spade, you wanted to you want to weigh in on anything else before we pack it in?
Yeah, a couple things. The new record available through Demon Doll Records. We're not signed with Demon Doll, but they are distributing our record. So go to DemonDollRecords.com. You can pick up the new album there, Midnight Devils. It's like $13.99, and they ship it straight to your door. Also available like iTunes and Amazon, Google Play, CD Baby, all that. All the places you can find CDs digitally, we're there. And the other thing I want to do was, I know he's not listening anymore, but I have to do this. Every interview we do, thank our sound guy Troy Way. He's on vacation right now in Texas, so I just wanted to thank him for everything that he did for this album.
But I saw where he said he was bored in Texas.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm like,
that's just, you know what? That's just the way he is. He's just like, I'm out of here later. He's a great dude, though.
But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this thing up, and I will, I'll be in touch with you guys later. Here pretty soon, hopefully with some, news about the show that's coming up in Fayetteville and whatnot. Thunder keeps calling me on my phone, but if I click over, I run the risk of hanging up on the show, and I ain't gonna do that. But anyway, had a lot of fun, and we'll talk with you guys later, and we'll have. Oh, one thing I wanted to say is you guys. I haven't looked at y'all's YouTube page. I mean, do you guys have a bunch of videos and stuff on it or anything, or?
Not a ton of videos. We're working on our new video in 2 weeks.
Okay, the reason I asked is because every time with every show that I've put up with these, with yours, the first show that you guys did, we did a show with Jack Starr, even Chris Sestrick, who was our guest last week. I get this flag from YouTube saying that it's copyrighted material. I'm like, well, for one thing, I didn't know that a robot could just pick it up like that off of a MPEG file or whatever it is that you upload to YouTube. But that's pretty neat that they can do that. But I'm sitting here interviewing you guys. It's like, you can come on. I'm going to come on your show, but you better not play any of my stuff. So it's like I was wondering if you knew how to circumvent that, or if I'm going to have to do that for every single video that I upload.
I don't know. I'm dumb. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I don't know.
Well, it's like the last show that we did. There was we played 3 songs. I had to do that for each and every one. For this one, I'm going to have to do it 4 times. But. Okay, I just thought that was weird. I mean, I'm going to keep doing it because having the show's archived on YouTube, that's a hell of a lot easier to get through to than it is jumping through all the hoops you have to at Blog Talk. And I'm not happy with Blog Talk right now anyway. So, but anyway, enough of my ranting. We're going to go ahead and get off of here. And thanks for listening. You guys have a good night, and I'll be in touch.
Thanks, Will.
Buddy. Thanks for having us.
Thanks, Thunder.
Thanks. You have a good one.
You too. All right, bye.